We woke up on day 4 after spending a night at our favourite campsite so far and set off on our trip to the northeastern side of Iceland. Started our day by driving through the Untitled Tunnel in Iceland, which is 7.4 kilometres. We will put the name on the screen for you. The roads in the north were much quieter than near Reykjavik as we headed towards Godafoss waterfall.
I think Godafoss was one of our favourite waterfalls we visited, probably because it was quite a bit quieter than the other waterfalls closer to the capital, as it is approximately a 5-hour drive. It wasn't as tall as other waterfalls we had seen, but the water was really blue and looked great on the day we visited.
We continued our day driving to Húsavík, which is known as the whale-watching capital in Iceland, as well as being known for being the town in the Eurovision movie on Netflix. Although we didn't go on a whale watch tour, we did go to a museum which gave us a lot of information about the history of Húsavík and their relationship with the whales, both past and present.
We continued our drive east, driving past a lake with amazing views, but unfortunately it was surrounded by tiny flies, which you can see in the video. Just off the road from the lake was a geothermal pool in a cave, which is famous for being one of the filming locations in Game of Thrones.
We continued our drive to the Movatin Geothermal area, which looked like we could have been on a different planet. The only problem was the amount of sulphur being released through all the geothermal vents in the ground. The place stunk of egg, and although it was a completely different landscape to anything we had seen before, we couldn't stay too long because of the overwhelming eggy smell in the whole area.
We finished our day heading to the nature baths, which is described as being the Blue Lagoon of the North. It's 2 geothermal pool areas that are lovely and warm, and a traditional Icelandic sauna. Although it was nice to go there, you could tell it was a bit more basic compared to the Blue Lagoon. One of the main things we both commented on was the gravel floor, which made both our feet ache after a while, and the slimy benches, which weren't too pleasant to sit on. We still enjoyed our time there, and it was half the price of the Blue Lagoon, and enjoyed a cake and a drink in the cafe before driving to our campsite for the night.
We stayed at Vogar Travel Service, which had plenty of space to park and a pizza place on site. We ordered a large pizza and ended up with far too much, so we decided to save it for the day after.
We are on day 5 in Iceland. and today we have arrived at Godafoss waterfall. It was about a 20-minute walk to the waterfall, which wasn't too bad, and then a 20-minute walk from there to the second waterfall, so it was pretty easy really. I think it was about 1.5 kilometers or something altogether. So
I've got 1.97.
1.97 kilometers, so maybe about 2 by the time we get back to the van. But yeah, it was good.
From Godafoss we started our drive to the east side of the ring road towards our campsite. So we've just pulled over for some lunch. Here's Mike eating our leftover pizza from yesterday.
Yeah.
Look at the size of those slices. This is the view that we've got. We arrived at the campsite mid-afternoon and enjoyed the sun for the afternoon.
We've finished our drive for the day and ended up in the east of Iceland. We've had a lovely tea of what was it, spinach and ricotta tortellini. And now we're just...
mini cinnamon roll.
And a mini cinnamon roll. And now we're just ready to settle down in the comfort and warmth of our lovely spacious van.
Once we get the heating on.
So yeah, I'm going to turn the camera off now, put the heating on, and enjoy the free Wi-Fi. We are on day 6 in Iceland now, and it's a long driving day really, so we've got about 4.5 hours of driving from the northeast side of Iceland. We're about halfway there at the minute. We're going to call in at the Diamond Beach and a glacier lagoon as well, so hopefully I think we've got about another hour of driving until we get there. And yeah, we'll keep on going.
We took some breaks in our driving and stopped off to film some of the wildlife. Iceland is full of free roaming sheep.
During our drive through the east of Iceland, we got to a road that suddenly stopped being tarmac and became a wet dirt road. This, combined with the fog, made for a fun 8 kilometres of driving. We've made it to the Diamond Beach. The Diamond Beach gets its name from the ice that washes up on the shore after fracturing from glaciers further up. We walked from the Diamond Beach to the Glacier Lagoon and even spotted a seal on the way up.
Continuing our drive along the southeast, we saw a much colder landscape than we had in the north. We drove to Skaftafell Visitors Centre and walked along a trail to get to a glacier. The walk was nice and flat and took about an hour for the round trip.
Luckily, the visitor centre had a campground as well, and we stayed there for the night. It was really busy, but we were used to people parking on top of each other as it happened most nights. Unfortunately, the weather took a turn for the worse, and Meg ended up staying up listening to the rain bounce off the van roof for most of the night.